You're tuned in to the TVL Rundown, a comprehensive look at the athletics and athletes within the Twin Valley League. Joined by Jeff Wurtz of the TVL Spotlight, I'm Max Blaske with KNDY. The TVL Rundown is a service of the Citizens National Bank in Greenleaf and Bruna Implement.
Another reason to make the Citizens National Bank your bank. With the century of experience, you know you can count on us for convenient banking and personal service for people you know and trust. With extended hours and online banking for all your financial needs. Another reason to make the Citizens National Bank your bank.
For the best in farming equipment with the service to back it, there is only one Bruna Implement Company, your local Case IH dealer. Since 1947, the staff at Bruna Implement Company works daily to provide the best parts and service when you need it, always dedicated to their customers. Bruna Implement Company has been family-owned for 3 generations, and they know what it takes to be successful as your area Case IH dealer. With locations in Marysville, Washington, Clay Center, Seneca, Hiawatha, and Humboldt, Nebraska. Stop by or give them a call today.
Welcome into this week's edition of the TVL Rundown, a Christmas edition here with Jeff Wurtz. Jeff, Twin Valley League basketball is in full swing. We're going to take a peek at the standings and look at the upcoming schedule for all of the teams. We're going to start first with the girls' standings. On top, Valley Heights girls 2-0 in league play, while Blue Valley, Lynn, Hanover all 1-0, Frankfort 1-1, and then regular season Clifton Clyde, Doniphan West 6-1 here early on in the season. I know we talked about it, I think, in last week's edition. This Twin Valley League girls might be even deeper than it was last year, just based on, how everyone's playing here early in the season.
And so long in this job, I just keep saying, how is that possible? How is that possible at all? But they continue to up their game. And yeah, this is an incredible year. Once again, for the TVL, really on both sides, but especially the girls, just so deep. You don't know right now who a leader of the pack is.
And looking at the standings too, kind of a little surprise, but Axel at the bottom and 0-2 in league play, but they've faced 2 top teams in Valley Heights, who's ranked in Class 2A, and then Lynn, who's one of the top 3 teams in Class 1A Division 2. I think they have an opportunity to make some noise in the TVL once they kind of get some things figured out. And then, another team that I don't want to say is a surprise, but when you look at the Frankfort Lady Wildcats, they're 5-3 here early in the season after winning, I think it was single-digit games last year. First-year head coach Doug Thompson down there at Frankfort has his team playing some good basketball here early on.
Frankfort has played well together. And I know we've talked about this. We've probably talked about this in the preseason. They're a team that's going to need all 5 girls on the court to be at their best the entire game. And right now, that's what we've seen out of Frankfort. They've just been playing very good team ball.
And, so important here early on, like you said, especially on, TVL, you have to have a good team in order to be successful here this season. And, again, going through state ranks too in Class 2A, Valley Heights is number 6 in girls ranking. Doniphan West is number 8 in Class 1A Division 1. Centralia girls still number 3. Clifton Clyde cracking the top 10 in that one. And then 1A Division 2, Hanover and Lynn, they're 1 and 3 respectively in the rankings. So when you look, again, the girls team, even though Centralia is 2-2, they're still getting state recognition. Clifton Clyde, we mentioned it, 6-1. Doniphan West, a quiet 6-1 too over on the east side of the TVL as they picked up a big win over Troy last week. Girls, again, TVL tournament, I'll say it probably with the boys too, but this is going to be a very exciting TVL tournament with some really tough teams that are going to face off in that second round.
We always get a little bit of a late Christmas present there, don't we, Max? We get to sit and watch some of the best basketball players in the state, and we call it a job.
You know what? I don't think anyone could have a better job than me and you, right?
I don't know that anyone could.
We have it pretty nice here in the Twin Valley League. As we look at now the boys standings here early in the season, Axtell and Frankfort both 2-0, Hanover and Centralia 1-0 in league play, while Clifton, Clyde, Doniphan West 4-3 on the season. Blue Valley, Lynn, and Washington all with 4 wins. And I think, again, we kind of talked about them last week, but the Washington County boys, after only getting 4 wins last season, they've already matched their win total here this year. I think that's a team, TVL tournament at home, you watch out for them in this league.
And I had a chance to watch Washington County for the first time this year. They are a quick team. Their offense is just remarkable right now, and they lock down on defense. This is a both sides of the ball knowing what they're doing team. Yeah, again, having that tournament in Washington, you know the crowd's going to be there, and they have a very good presence on the court, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do.
And as you look at the boys as a whole, all but 3 teams have a winning record going into this Christmas moratorium. You know, maybe one of those surprise teams, Centralia, only sits at 1-3 here early on in the season, but they've had a tough schedule early on. Nemaha Central, St. Mary's, a few of those teams. I know head coach Nick Evans is going to get that team right here between the seasons. But when you look too at the state rankings in Class 1A Division II, it's all Twin Valley League. Hanover and Axtell, your top 2 teams here early on, undefeated 5-0, both of those teams in the first part of the season. You know, boys are going to be deep too as well, but I've had a chance to see Axtell. Haven't seen Hanover yet, but I think this league might come down to those 2 teams yet again this season.
You know, there's one name I want to slip in there, though, because I have had a chance to see them. I know what those kids are like. Don't sleep on Clifton Clyde. They're hanging in the middle of the pack right now at 4-3. But I think they have the opportunity. I just wanted to give the Clifton Clyde team their due over there because I really think they have an opportunity to move up over the next few weeks.
And I completely agree. They're one of those teams, obviously losing an all-leaguer in Jack Scotchney. How do they develop? But I think a very good team over there in Clifton Clyde. And then kind of like the Blue Valley girls, too. I think the Blue Valley boys are silently 4-2 here in this kind of, non-conference schedule. You get in the Twin Valley League, Blue Valley, and then also Lynn at 4-3. They might be 2 teams right now at kind of the bottom third of these standings that, can make some noise, and the way they play, the length that they have, the defensive intensity that both of those teams play with, watch out for them to make a little tournament run or a run at the regular season title too.
Without a doubt. I think as much as we brag on the girls, I think it's tightly knit up top with the boys as well.
And as we get ready for this Christmas moratorium, of course, all Twin Valley League teams are off this week, but a lot will get back in action next week. There's going to be 4 Twin Valley League teams, Valley Heights, Washington County, Frankfort, and Lynn, playing in a new winter showcase this season. They are taking on teams like Fairbury, Superior, Thayer Central, and Rock Hills. And of course, Keisha added 3 games to everyone's schedule this year, so kind of the reasoning for this winter showcase. But talking with a lot of coaches, they obviously don't like the fact that they lose some practice time during the break, but I think this opportunity to play 2 games in 2 days, the quick turnaround like you see in a sub-state in a Twin Valley League tournament type setting, it's going to be beneficial for these teams as they move forward into the Twin Valley League schedule that starts in January.
With this new thing, everybody drags their heels a little bit. That's just human nature. You don't know what the new is going to be like. But if I had my guess, I would say TVL teams are going to be just fine adding a couple of new games.
And I think, too, it's going to be interesting. We talk about it all the time. You get into Twin Valley League, these teams are so familiar with what they do and the style of play, but an opportunity to play someone outside of your league right before you get in, just seeing a different style, I think that's really going to be a beneficial part, too, as well for this winter showcase coming up next Tuesday and Wednesday.
I look forward to it. I think it's going to be a really big thing going forward outside the TVL, getting some, like you said, getting some of those games in against non-TVL teams, not having to butt heads every night.
And I think showing not only the state of Kansas, but state of Nebraska what Twin Valley League teams are all about. Of course, like we mentioned, most Twin Valley League teams will get back in action next Friday with a lot of scheduling and everything else going on. Jeff, as always, where can everyone find those Twin Valley League schedules all year?
head over to TVL Spotlight on both Facebook and Twitter. I will have the updates all season long as we go along. Keep it handy for the second half of the season, because as we get into some of these late games, it's a important thing to always look, even daily, on my page, and anything I can do to boost it, I will.
Absolutely. Jeff has got you covered with everything Twin Valley League. Of course, stay tuned to KNDY Radio for continuing high school basketball coverage throughout the month of January. Again, this has been the TVL Rundown. We thank you for tuning in this week. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, a best of New Year, and we will chat when January rolls around.
You've been tuned in to the TVL Rundown, a comprehensive look at the athletics and athletes within the Twin Valley League. Joined by Jeff Wurtz of the TVL Spotlight, I'm Max Blaske with KNDY. The TVL Rundown is a service of the Citizens National Bank in Greenleaf and Bruna Implement.